Hey there guys, welcome to our first play battle report for Battleground Fantasy Warfare. This is by Your Move Games, and this is their new expansion coming out called Lords of Vlaholt. Now if you're not familiar, this is a little unusual for the channel as well. It's because I'm a 99% predominantly miniature guy. But this is, if you think Kings of War, but in card form. So you have different cards representing your units, and you have different things. Like this is a vampire faction, but you get different types of factions because you got, like, for example, in this one you got werewolves, you got thralls, you got knights, warriors in the mist, lancers, heavy archers, heal folk, crossbowmen, spearmen, halberdiers, swordsmen, tepes lords. So you get a lot of variation in the units you can get. Now, if you're not familiar with how to play this game, you can check out a video I did for my Gaming Nights channel, which I'll put up in the link over here. That does a lot of the explanation of how the game works, and I'll go through a couple of bits as we're playing, and so on now. But suffice to say, everything you have is on the card itself. So this is a standard unit card. So over there it tells you the name. This is the Tepes Lords. This is the hitboxes down at the bottom here. This is where you put in their commands. And this is their stat line. So their attack stats, defense stats, range stats, command stats, and movement stats. On the back, they will have sort of a close-in picture, their points cost, and their unit standard. So, for example, it might be a elite or something like that. And then over here, it gives you any special abilities and some background fluff. So, to give you a little idea of why we're showing this, is as I said, this is also a new faction coming to Kickstarter later this week, but they do some others as well. Like, for example, I've got some undead over here from the undead faction. I've got also, which I got earlier, was the Dark Elves, big Dark Elf fan, and my favorite, the Men of Hawkshold, humans. Of course I love humans. Anyway, so it's an easy, quick game to get to the table, as everything is already pre-painted and ready to go. And when I had my shop, I remember quite a few people used to come to the shop and ask, about rule sets and stuff where you don't have to build and paint miniatures. At the time, I thought it was really odd, because as a predominantly miniature guy, I loved painting and building miniatures and building up armies. But there were quite a few people out there that didn't really want to get into that. They just wanted to play games and get, rules on the table. And I think if this was at the time when I had my shop, was out then, this would have been very, very popular. As it's a really solid rule set, and obviously everything comes pre-painted and ready to go. So all you have to do is get it on a table and get some dice, tape measures, and your units, and you're ready to go. And of course, someone to play. And that someone I'm playing with today is Carla. Hey, Carla. All right, so Carla's going to read out. We're going to play the first scenario in the new Quick Start rules for Laws of Vlaholt. So she's going to read out some background fluff for us, and then we're going to get started. And as we go through the first couple of turns, I'll go through some of the stats and cards and things like that as we go. So you don't have to listen to me ramble on for too long. All right, Carla, what are we doing?
Okay, so the first scenario that we're playing is the Revolt. So we've got little Wayward Lord revolting against the more established one. So it says, no sooner was he reborn into the ranks of the Vampire Lord, and Marek Reres Petrescu began plotting to overthrow his sire, the Voivode Dagon. Petrescu rallied the free commoners, many of them his kin, and attacked the domain of Dagon's eldest child, the Tepes Lord, Lucan Calogral. Saying a black prayer, Lord Lucan marches to eviscerate his upstart.
All right, so that's the scenario. We're playing. The first sort of background fluff is fluff. I'm Lord Petrescu. So there's my Marx's Lancers, just to show you. So I've got a unit of cavalry. I have also a unit of Voyek crossbowmen. What's interesting about these guys is they're pretty solid in combat as well. So they're sort of a multi-use combat unit. And then I have 2 units of Voyek spearmen. So standard spear unit. and we'll come back to those other things in a minute. Carla, on the other hand, has some different units. She's playing...
Yeah, so I've got the Courtenay Halberdiers. I've got 2 units of those. I've got some Voynich Thralls supporting my Tepes Lords. I'm playing as the first child, the Lord Tepes Lucan Cologaral.
Yeah. Right, so scenario objective is the first person to kill 425 points of the other person's army would become victors. So obviously at the back of the cards they tell you, so for example these spearmen are worth 212 points. Okay, so the game is divided into 3 phases. The first phase is your command and movement. Second phase is battle. Third phase is courage. So in the command and movement phase, but everyone's going to get, we have this deck of command cards over here. There are 3 types of cards. You've got attack cards, defense cards, and if I can find the green ones, there you go, neutral cards. As we're playing out of one deck, we're going to shuffle them up, deal out 1 card to each person to start with. That'll start our command card with. We're also playing just on a basic green mat. We do have some terrain. We've got a woods over here and a little ruined building over here. They don't come into play too much in this scenario, as we're just going to go through the basics of how this works. Whoever wins this scenario will then get, if I win, I go to scenario 3. If Carla wins, we'll go to scenario 2. But that is pretty much what we're going to do. If you're familiar with games like Warhammer Fantasy or Kings of War, it's very simple, similar to those type of games. Okay, so in the command phase, there are a few things you can do. So let's say I'm the first player. In fact, I am the first player. I'm playing Marquez. What we're going to do is each unit in the game will start on the close order action. We'll start on the close order faction. So you can see everything starts here on C. That means if I don't give any new orders or change any of the orders, then they will just close with the enemy at their regular base until they get to within charging range, where they'll do the final rush. Every command phase, you get 2 actions that you can do, 1 of or 2 of the similar actions. So the one thing you can do is change an order. The other orders you can do is halt or range. So halt obviously makes the unit stand still, and they will just hold their ground until given new orders, and ranged units with ranged options will then stop and fire their ranged weapons at the closest visible unit until they either run out of ammo, then they will just go to halt, or you give them a new order. So that's the 3 basic orders you can do, which you can change the orders to. Or you can spend a command action to draw a new battle card. And just to show you, this is the card I received at the beginning of the game. So you can see they tell you when you can play them, and obviously the color. If it's blue, you can play it in your defensive phase. If it's red, you're playing in your attack phase. If it's green, you'll play it during either a rally or movement phase. So you can spend an order, change order. You can spend an activation to draw a new card, or you can spend an order to directly take control of one of your units. So for example, if I wanted my cavalry to go out on a bit of a flanking move, or I don't want my crossbowmen to just march straight into the halberdiers' pikes, I might take control of them and maneuver them in a different way. And then finally, another action you can do is some of the units. So for example, the Hawkshold guys have a bravery action. These guys have, I think it's called perseverance. They have perseverance. So you can take control, you can use their action. So for example, I could mark this box, and then later on during combat, I could spend that box to do the benefits that it gives. And that's kind of what you do during command phase. Once you use your commands, everything will move forward. And then you go to battle phase. Anything that's in the battle, we will do battles. Battles are simultaneous. So for example, if I'm in combat with one of Carla's units, I'm the active player, I'll strike first, then she'll strike. We'll then do a command test if necessary in the command phase. And that's pretty much it. All right. Okay. So let's go into my command phase. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've got this 1 card, and I want to build up a little card section before we get into the combat. So as my first action, I'm going to draw a new battle card. So that'll go into my hand. Then I'm happy for all of them to move forward as normal. The crossbowmen only have a 14-inch range. and 7 inches and more is long range. So I'm going to have them stay on close order to move forward, and I think I'm going to take control of my lancers. So what's interesting, we have this movement card over here. What's interesting as well is, so for example, the spearmen are mover 3.5 inches. That length there is 3.5 inches, as you can tell, the large into the card. And then say, for example, the lancers are 7 inches move. That's just that twice. And I think Carla's got one that's 2.5, is it? Have you got...
So yeah, my halberdiers are quite slow. They're 2.5 inches. But everybody else, my thralls and my lords, move at 3.5.
So of course you can use tape measures for this, but just to show you can also use the cards. So I'm going to put that there. Then the spearmen will just move directly forward towards their enemy, and so will the crossbows, as they are all on close order move. And then I'm going to then take control of the lancers, and I'm going to swing them around a bit. So to do that, I'll bring this a little closer. I'm going to put that on the end like that, so they can move 3.5 like that. And then I'm going to do it again, but this way up like that. So now they've taken out a little bit of a move towards the flank, but because they're still on the close order drill, I've taken control of them this round. But the following round, when it comes back to me, they will still continue their normal movement because they are on close order. So that is my command phase. I've drawn a card. I've taken direct control of that unit over there. Everything else has moved forward. There's no battle phase. There's nothing's in combat yet. There's no courage needed to take. So that's the end of my first turn. And then we go over to Carla. Alright, so Carla's got the exact same options as I had. She's got 2 actions.
Okay, so I'm going to start by my Tepper's Lords have got this ability. All of my other units have got an ability called Vassal, which means that essentially, I guess they are a tap for energy. So I'm going to use my Thralls at the back here, because they're within range of the 3.5 inches that they need to be used as a vassal. And the Lords are going to take some vitality from the Thralls. And that doesn't go into here. There are little chalices on the side here to show. So I can basically use, I can do that twice. So hoard 2 of those little vassals for future. And I can use an ability, which I've now forgotten what it is. Jason's stolen all the cards.
What was the blood thing?
Yeah, blood powers. So essentially I can use, the ability I've used is called Drain on the vassals, and I've got a bunch of blood powers that I can use to mostly negate or change the dice rolls.
And this is something that's unique to this faction, because obviously these are vampires and they drain blood from their vassals to gain superhuman strength and powers and things like that. All the factions have different abilities, like the Men of Hawkshold have the bravery ability, which means they stick around in fights longer. And then, of course, these are all fantasy races that we're playing with, but they do also have a historical range as well, where you can play Punic Wars or Rome, those type of things. So there's a lot of variety in the different factions, and you can play fantasy versus historics as well. So tell us what you're doing. You're taking control of that unit?
Yeah, so I've taken control of that unit as my second action, and I'm moving, actually, because I don't need to take control of it, I can just swing it, move it. I've still got my second action. So my second action, sorry, it's because Jason's talking too much, is to draw a card. I'm swinging my halberdiers out to the side, and I'm going to move, they are quite slow. So I'm just using the short end, which is the 2.5 inch section, to move my halberdiers out a little bit, and I'm going to move my Tepper's Lords their full movement. Now my Thralls.
And naturally, you can imagine the cards are basically, think of them as a base, as a movement tray. So they can't overlap on each other, and they can't cross over each other. Certain units can shoot over each other, mostly archers and things like that. But for example, the crossbowmen I have over there, they have the line of sight rule, which means they can't shoot over units. They have to shoot directly to line of sight. And they have 4 ammunition rolls, so they can shoot 4 times before they run out of ammo.
Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of a risk and ignore the charging lancers and move my thralls to move alongside my Tempest Lords for now.
Okay, so you drew a card and you activated one of your blood powers.
Correct. No,
Or you drained.
I drained.
Yeah, okay. My lancers also have the drain ability, but I haven't used it as yet. So, that's obviously then goes on to the battle phase. There isn't any. Courage phase, there isn't any. So we go back to my turn. Alright, so, again, I'm going to, for the most part, these two are going to march forward as normal. I'm going to change their order. So you can see that I've changed the crossbows from a close order to a ranged order. And, oh man. See, now it's interesting is, obviously, I don't, from past experience, I know charging the cavalry, they're just a light, sort of light to medium cavalry unit. I don't want to be going headlong into those halberdiers. So instead, I'm going to take direct control of my cavalry again. And I'm going to just swing them out a little bit more like this. And then I'm going to use a maneuver to reform them that way. And then that's how I want them to stay. And then my spears, movement comes first before shooting. So my spears will once again continue their march up towards those vampire lords. And now we go to a ranged shot. So my crossbows over here have a 14-inch range, which is in range obviously. And they are going to fire across over to those halberdiers on the end flank. They have, as you can shows there, they have a 14-inch range, and when they fire their crossbows, they get 3 dice. So I've got 3 dice to fire with. Their attack skill is 5, and I'll compare that against the unit's defense skill, which is, Carla?
So my defense is 1.
Okay, so that means 5 minus 1, I would need 4 less. But I am firing at long range, so it's minus 1 to my hit skill, so now I need 3 or less. And 3 hits. Beautiful. Okay, so now we go to the second stat on my attack step. You can't really see that, so I'm just going to flick this over so you can see. So, the number in brackets shows how many dice you roll. That's your attack skill, and that's your offense power. So, we just worked out that. Now we've got to work out this. My offense power is 5. Your defense is
3.
Defense is 3. So 5 minus 3, I need 2 or less. And I've got nothing. So no wounds. Unfortunate, as the halberdier's defenses held firm. So that was my first shot with the halberdiers. So I mark them off. 1 ammo expended. And that is the end of my turn. Because there's no combat anymore, or at least, and there's no courage needed to take. So that's the end of my turn. Over to you, Kai.
Okay, so I think I'm going to drain again, just because I'm going to be all pumped up and ready when these guys get into combat. So that's my first order. That's interesting. I'm going to put this unit on hold. It's my second order. I'm assuming I can't move him and then put him on hold.
No.
So I think they're going to stay there for now.
Staring at my cavalry.
Yeah. I'm not so sure I like that, but...
Who will blink first?
Well, dare you to come fetch my other halberdier unit. Okay, I think I'm gonna move the halberdiers first, just because they've got the slowest movement, and I don't really like. I don't want my cards to crash into each other, my units. So they're gonna go there.
So what's interesting, when they're in close order, they have to move their full distance. Now, one of the advanced rules that you could use that we're not using in this is you could, for example, put a close order and then a number next to it. They will then only move that number as a maximum move. So, for example, I just wanted to show you the game comes with a quick start rules, which is what we're playing here to show you guys. But it also comes with an advanced rule book that has every detail explained very confidently.
Ugh, so annoying, but I suspect
Competently.
I'm gonna have to take this freaking onslaught.
Oh, she's sacrificing those vampires.
Oh, I don't know about sacrificing, but oh well. See, the dilemma here is that they are on a close order, so I've only got 2 actions. I would have been able to stop 2 of these units moving, but not all. So there's no standing around.
Yeah.
You have to move. Might as well make it a confident one.
Okay, so you drew a card. No, you didn't draw
I
a card.
drained.
Yep.
I put this unit on hold, and I've moved.
That's the end of your turn. So over to my turn. Pre-measuring is allowed in the game. So I just want to have a quick look. How close these guys... No, they're not close enough. So they got a 7. I was wondering if I could get in the flank there. I'm not quite close enough. They're still going to fire. These guys are going to have to move in onto those lords. And... Okay, so I'm going to draw a card as my first action. And then I'm going to take control of the cavalry again as my second action. Okay, so this is called, this area, because obviously 3.5 is obviously in range of stuff to charge. So this is called the final rush. So, for example, you can't, well, actually, I can show you. On the units themselves, they have these little notches, which will explain, which will show you the center of units and stuff like that, and that's also how you work out. So, for example, this unit here is definitely in the front arc because you go corner to corner from the unit you're charging, and the notch, if
you put it that, so from corner to corner, the notch is very clearly
a front arc charge.
A front arc charge.
But like, say for example, this one, which is probably a little closer, but not much. That's
is it from that corner, from that corner?
That corner to that corner. And the notch is still a front charge. And I'm going to... Alright, so they're going to go in. And now, do I want to... I do have range to the halberdiers. So I think I'm going to go into them as my next one. So they're going to go there. So when you charge, you just pick up the units and stick them in. I've put this one halfway, so I did have a choice of doing both halves onto that Tepes Lords, but I've wanted to pin them in place and pin them in place. And then I did say I'm going to take control of these guys, so they're going to go there, because she's only got a 2.5 inch move. I'm pretty confident like that. And then finally, they are going to fire into there. Same as before, 3 dice. Still at long range. So my skill of 5 versus her defense of 1 is 4s, but long range down to 3s. 6s always fails, 1s always succeeds. And then 5 versus her 2, is it? 3?
3.
3 means I need a 1 or a 2. I've missed again. So I said earlier they were quite useful. I lied. Okay, so that's that. Now we go on to combat. Alright, so I'm going to start over here with these spearmen, and I'm going to play strike as one of my options. So play during an attack. Before you roll to hit, your unit gets +1 attack and +1 to hit this attack. So the unit gets 6 dice anyway, as you can see from the unit card. They get 6 dice normally. When you charge, you get 2 more dice standard. And now I've just given them the strike, which gives them an extra dice. So they got 9 dice to try and take out these vampires. My attack skill is 5. It's +1 because of strike. So I'm attack skill 6. Carla's defense skill is 2. So 6 minus 2 is 4s. Now, when you play command cards, you can only play one per combat. So I've played a strike on this. Carla can play a defensive card if she wants to on them here. But when she strikes back, if she's played a defensive card, she can't play an attack card, if that makes sense. So, for example, I've gone offensive here. I won't be able to play any defensive cards on them this round. You playing anything, babe? Okay. So, what did I say? My attack skill is 6. Your defense skill is 2. I need 4s or less. So, those 6s all misses. That's cocked. I'll roll that again. Alright. And then my strength offensive skill is 5. Your defense is 3.
Wait.
Okay. So I'm going to need 1s and 2s as it is currently.
Okay, I'm going to play Underlying Scorn, which says play during an attack after your opponent rolls to hit, which he's now done. So my units now get +1 to this attack. And because they have Drain, I get to change one of the result dice to a 6.
Oh, yeah. Of the new results. Okay, so I'm offense 5. Your defense is 3, but now up by 1 to 4. So I need 1s. Okay, so those.
Also fluky with that.
So those 4 missed. These 2 have hit, but because you got the drain keyword, you can change one of them to a 6,
which is an automatic fail.
Yes. So I've done 1 wound. So you mark 1 wound on there.
Hoo-wee! On an attack or on a charge.
Yeah. So I had 9 dice, but because of her she's the tough unit anyway, and then boosted by the Undying Scorn or whatever.
Well, to be fair, they're my only tough unit, so I need to make sure that they survive.
Okay, so we keep the cards there for now, so we know that we can't play any more cards on that unit, because now they get to strike back against me.
Okay, so my lords have got 5 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Versus, what is your defense? 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so
6 versus 2 is 4 less. So that's 1 missed.
Sorry, was that outside of the screen?
No, that's it. Sorry.
Okay. So I get 4 dice, and then we are again 6 versus your 2, so that's the same result again.
Yep. Oh, that's 1 wound.
Ugh. Clearly still licking the blood off their
actually,
lips.
I made a mistake there. Just to clarify, because they got spears, they should have got -1 attack dice on the charge. I forgot about that. But we'll just pretend that didn't happen.
It's okay, it's still...
Don't forget you had those drain powers.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to use them yet.
Okay, so that's that combat done. Let's move on to, I'm the aggressor.
Okay, so these can go now.
Yeah, so 4, 5, 6, I remember now. So I get 2 extra dice for charging, but -1 because I have the spears rule. So spears are obviously better defensive units. They get bonuses versus cavalry and large monsters. But they get negatives for when they charge.
Hold on, do I not get positives for being charged?
Against cavalry and large monsters.
Oh, was it large monsters?
Alright, so I'm attack skill 5. And I'm not playing anything against your defensive 1. Means I need 4 or less. Oh my gosh, I've rolled 4 6s.
They don't like it.
5 was a misses. And then my strength of 5 versus your defense of 3 or toughness of 3 means needs 1s or 2s. Ugh, messed that up as well.
Ooh-wee.
So I caused no damage. Over to you.
Oh yeah. Okay. Right. So mine have got 6 dice, which don't get negated, I don't think.
Nope, because you're on the defense.
Yeah. so 2, 4, 6, and I have got an attack of 5 versus your 2 again.
So 3s or less.
3s or less.
I see a couple of 4s there. So 3 hits, and
then 6 versus your 2. So 4s or
4s.
less.
They're quite pokey, the halberdiers. That's 3 wounds.
That is what I wanted. Not that that's helped, because they've, they're just licking their lips, not doing very much.
Alright, so just to show you what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this here to represent that they need to take a morale test. The reason why they need to do that is because Carla caused 3 wounds on them. Just zoom that in. Which took out all their green boxes. So now they're into the yellow box. So think of that as good morale, wavering, routing almost. So I have to take a morale test for them in the courage phase. But as there's no other combats and nothing else is going to happen, that's going to happen now. So morale works the same as this. Their leadership is 12, but because they're in yellow, that's -1 to their leadership. So it goes down to 11. And I have to roll 3 dice and get 11 or under. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's 16.
It's the wrong game bookie.
Yeah.
High, low.
Okay, so this is where the Men of Hawkshold would have been more useful. So what happens when you rout? You immediately flee towards your long table edge. Now I don't have anything. There is cards that can help with that, but I don't have anything that can help. This is definitely over their limit, so they are fleeing. So they turn around and they will flee their maximum movement, which is 3.5 towards my table edge.
Do I not get a...
Yes, I'm just going to explain in a second. And for me to stop them running, I need to spend one of my actions to rally them. But before we end the sequence, Carla will now get a free strike against them, attacking them in the rear. So they get the bonuses of the rear bonus, which is +1 to hit and +1 to wound.
Okay, so I have 5, so I've now got 6 to hit.
But you got 6 dice, and you're 6 versus my...
Yeah, 6 versus your 2.
Yep, so you need 4s or less. And then your strength
is now 7 versus your 2.
Yep, so you need 5s or less. Ah, still 4 wounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ugh, that wasn't fun.
Wow, Lord Petrescu's wrong.
Upstart. Okay, so that is my turn done. Over to you. Well, while she's thinking, the one thing I haven't actually mentioned, this is just a component-ish thing. The cards are obviously nice and glossy and thick and firm, but we use these little sheets that you slide the cards into, and then of course dry wipe markers to wipe them off once we're done. So we're not writing directly on the cards. There is a ton of cards in the box, so you can have huge battles, and obviously if you do ruin some of the cards, you're not at a complete loss.
Yeah, well, the sleeves work well. We've not had any issues with it, so this is painful. They're so slow.
But they are quite pokey.
They are very pokey, but just like, I mean, look at that. That's just, it's not fair.
You could always force the issue by moving them straight up into my grill.
I could.
But
I really don't want a flank charge.
These are the cards I have left, just out of interest sake.
Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dare the Lancers to come play over here.
So are you taking control of the halberdiers, or are you just putting them back to sea? Because if you move them back to sea or close order, they will just move forward in front of them automatically. So you don't have to take control of them, but that's unless you want to specifically move them.
I'm not going to block you. Go ahead and charge them at your own risk. I just want to reposition these guys. So I'm going to take control of them. I'm going to leave them on the hold order for now. And I'm literally just going to swing them into this position.
So you think your halberdiers can hold?
Maybe. Just in case you decide to try and flank. Actually, it doesn't matter because then you're going to get flanked from the other side. Okay. They would normally be moving forward now.
Luckily for me, I'm faster than you, so you can't charge me in the rear.
Now, in fact, I don't want to be funny, but I'm going to leave it like that because these guys are going to move.
As their normal close order.
Yeah. So... ugh. Don't like that, but okay. Let's just do that. Actually, that suits me fine. So they have moved. I've used one of my orders. I have a second one. I'm going to draw a card for the second one. Yeah, I like that. So these guys can't move because they're engaged. These guys are going to...
because they're on close order, they will constantly move towards the nearest visible enemy. This is the nearest visible enemy. So if they can't move directly straight, they will then maneuver around the shortest path to get to where they want to go.
And as I understand it, because I've already engaged them from the front, I can't now engage this, even though there's space there, I can't engage them from the front. I'll have to flank them. Is that right?
I'm 90% sure on that. Because I charged you in the halfway, I think it's possible, because it was supposed to be half to half. I think it's possible that you can actually charge in the front there. But Corey from Your Move Games can comment below if he sees this video to say...
tell us which, either way. Okay, so I've drawn a card. I've repositioned these guys. And I've moved my units.
Okay. So on to combat.
Okay, so the only combat at the moment is this that's engaged.
Yep.
Because Jason hasn't had a chance to rally these guys yet. They're still running away. So my Tepper's Lords have got 5 dice.
Okay, so I'm going to play a card. I'm going to play Hardened. So play during an attack, either before your opponent rolls to hit or to wound. Your unit gets +1 toughness this attack. In addition, if you played Hardened before your opponent rolls to hit, the attacking unit also suffers -1 attack. So you lose 1 dice.
I mean, I don't like that.
I gotta try and hold this right flank. You can see it during the command phase. You have so many. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of commands for you to do, but there's so many choices. The cards are really good. Taking control of the units to execute your plan is really useful. It's an interesting system. All right, so what we got? You got 4 dice.
4 dice. It's my 6 versus your 2 again.
Yep. So 4-less. So that's all hit.
And then my 6 versus your 2 again.
No, 3 now.
Oh.
So what is it? 6, 3 less. 1 wound.
1 wound.
I'll take that. Hold that flank, boys. Right, my strike back. I've got 6 dice. Are you playing anything? No?
Just give me 2 seconds because there was something I wanted to...
You're thinking about your blood powers?
Yeah. No, it's okay for now.
Okay, so my 6 dice, I've got 5 strength or 5 attack versus your 2 defense. So I need 3s or less. Oh my god, I'm running so high. So 2 hits. And then my strength 5 versus your defensive 3 needs 2s or less. Ah!
I'm so glad I didn't spend any of my stuff.
Okay, so that's the end of your turn then. There's no courage test to take.
No, so everybody's still in the green. Nobody is unhappy.
All right, let's do this.
We didn't mention that earlier, but considering Jason was talking about the fact that if you cross over into kind of the yellow zone, so my thralls have taken 2 damage because my Tepper's Lords have drained them, they don't need to take a morale check for that.
And in fact, these ones, the thralls, they got the special ability, these little iron symbols over here, when they take drain damage on those specific spots, actually gain a benefit.
That's called ecstatic suffering. So
goddamn fanatics.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I am going to spend one action to rally this unit. When the unit rallies, they immediately face the direction that you want, and they go on a hold. So they can do that. I'm going to draw a card for my second action. Oh, that's good. I like that. And then close order moves. So this dude over here is going to go into the flank. Might as well get that on the way. Oh, this unit can't see anything now.
Yay!
They are holding, they are fighting. So, and I've already spent my 2 actions. So that's good. Okay. So this one, because the crossbowers have like normally archers can just shoot over stuff, so they would be able to shoot them normally. But because these are line of sight guys, they need to see. Okay, so because these boys can't see anyone, they will now move towards the nearest visible enemy. So this unit is blocked by both those units. They can't see that unit. I suppose they can technically see a little bit of that unit over there, so they'll have to move. So I'm going to reform like this. When you reform, it takes, I believe, 2 of your movement points away. So they've got 1.5 left, which they will just shuffle along to there to get out the way. Okay, on to combat. Let's start. I just want to have a read of my new card. Huh. Okay. I'm going to start with these spearmen.
Okay.
So they've got 6 attacks, as usual.
Okay, hold on for a second, because I need to get my brain.
Okay, so you're going to do anything?
No, I just wanted to be sure that I know how to respond.
Okay. So I've got 6 dice. My attack is 5. Your defense is 2. I need 3s or less. So 2 5s missed. I got 4 hits. That's not bad. Come on, spearmen. Get angry. My strength of 5 versus your toughness of 3 means I need 1s or 2s. I got 2 wounds. That's right. Take that, Tepper's Lords. Alright, now for your strike back.
I think I'm going to use one of my drain abilities. So my drain ability, Unholy Strength. You may use this power during your attack after you roll to wound. So that's the second set. I have still got 5 dice, assumedly.
Yep.
And it is
attack skill of 6
versus your 2.
4s or less. Oh,
that's not great.
They're getting weak.
Okay. So I'm going to use Unholy Strength. After you roll to wound. So let me roll to wound first and see what happens.
You're 6 and 2. You need 4s or less.
So
2 wounds.
I don't really need to do anything to those then.
No.
That's okay.
Alright, so they take 2 wounds and we'll be taking a morale test.
Okay. So it's the only combat. No, yeah. It's not. We've got the Lancers.
Alright, so the Lancers, let's see if cavalry can do the job. Lancers have 6 dice normally. They get +2 for charging. And because they got the cavalry keyword, they'll get +1 to damage and +1 to defense.
Because I'm being charged by cavalry, I also get some sort of bonus. Just can't remember what it is. Here we go. So spears, when... Oh, it says when holding. When attacking cavalry, when charging, and when holding. And attacking, charging cavalry large. Oh, so no.
Well, I do get a bonus of +1 to hit, attacking you into the flank. So my attack skill is 5, going up to 6 because I'm attacking you in the flank, versus your defense of 1. So 6 minus 1, 5s or less. Poor.
Oh, okay. It says when holding and attacking charging cavalry, you are attacking charging cavalry. So, or I'm attack when I attack back. I get a benefit.
So I've got 7 hits. Do you want to play anything?
7 hits. Jeez.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can at this point. Hold on.
I get +1 damage on the charge as well. So I'm damage 6 versus your defensive 3 currently.
That's okay. Go.
So I need 3s or less. Oh
dear.
So that's 5 wounds.
Ah, that's harsh. Okay.
So that puts you all the way into the yellow.
All the way into the yellow?
Yeah. Other way, other side.
2, 3. Did you say it was 5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ouch.
Come on, Lancers. Right, so you attack back against them.
Okay, so my attack back gets a +2 to wound.
Okay. I get a +1 defense because I was charging this turn.
Okay. So I get 6 dice for my halberdiers against your
Defense
2.
of 3.
Oh, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's sorry, no, it's 5.
So you need
5
1s and
against,
2s.
yeah.
There's 1 hit.
Ugh, that's not good.
But my toughness is only 1. I don't have a lot of armor.
I get +2.
So you're on 3 normally. +2 is 5. So you need 4s or less. Ah, you rolled a 6.
You had to jinx me.
Ha!
Okay, well, that's rubbish, but okay, it's done.
Alright, so that's all the combats. So command checks. Got a command over here. 3 dice. I'm in the yellow, so -1. Don't be crap like the other spearmen. That's 9, 10, 11. I'm on 11. I'm normally 12. -1 because I'm in the yellow, so 11. So I've passed.
So I need, I've got 11, but because I'm in the yellow, it's 10. I have
rolled 12.
12. Successfully failed that freaking roll.
Alright, so they are breaking. So they're going to run directly backwards, or because they're so slow, 2.5 shuffle. And I get another strike against them and against the rear. But not a charging strike. So it's 6 dice, 5s. So that's 6 misses. Because you only defense 1, aren't you? I get +1 as well. And then I'm strength 5, +1 because I'm in the rear. So 6 versus your defense of 3, 3 or less. Just 1.
This poor unit is battered. Ooh-wee. Okay.
Have they moved at all? Did they just turn around? Is that it?
No, I haven't moved them. You were rolling, so I didn't want to interrupt. Okay, so they move quite slowly. So there we go.
I feel like our center units aren't up for this.
Okay.
But that's my turn.
Right. So it moves on to my turn.
Mm.
Alright, I'm gonna change this one's hold into close. Command. And I'm going to use my other one to, I can't remember what this is, but
Perseverance, I think it's called.
Perseverance, possibly. Is that what it was? Perseverance. Huh. Okay, yeah. Don't know if that'll help me just yet, but we'll see. So these halberdiers are within range of smashing into the side of the lancers. I guess my second... Oh no. Oh, I should have routed these guys.
Routed them? Yeah, you should definitely routed them.
Shut up. Righted them is what I meant.
Rallied them.
Yeah.
Well, they move so slow, they'll take forever to get off the board.
Yeah, but do I really want them to move another No, I don't want them to move. Okay, hold on. I guess that'll be... Sorry for changing everything again, but I don't really want them to go any further than that and open up the side of my other unit to you. Okay, so I've changed their order and allowed them to move, rallied them. These guys can't go anywhere because they're still in combat. And according to you,
I think they can go into the front there.
They're in range, so I will do that then. I mean, I think can I flank charge it? I mean,
well, the range isn't measured from the center point to my center point. But
right, so your center point to your center point is within,
yeah,
just about, but it is.
So then they'll go,
which then means where's the?
And this is how you determine if you're in the flank. You're not.
Okay.
So you can join the Tempest Lords in the front against my shield wall.
But I haven't moved yet. Do I not move and then do it?
This is if you're in range. This is the final rush, and you have to charge now. You can't move and then charge.
Fine. You know what? I'll just do that. That's fine. I won't be greedy.
I mean, that's a pretty good position to be in anyway. 2 units versus my 1.
I still feel like I'm losing, so, you know, I'll hold my reservations for... This is not good enough just yet, thanks. Okay, so I've moved them all. I've used my 2 actions to change these 2's orders.
So
I think.
on to combat.
Okay, I guess I'll start with these dumbwits that are still standing over there. So this is now considered 1 combat, correct?
You can still only play 1 card per unit.
Okay. I think...
And obviously my strike back, I'd have to choose which unit to attack. I don't get to attack both of them.
I'm just going to play follow through. It's not a particularly great card, but so it says play during an attack, either after you roll to hit or to wound. So I'm going to do it for the to hit. I play after, but it doesn't matter. I've revealed it now.
Are you starting with them?
Yeah.
So how many attacks they
No,
get?
them.
Are you starting with them?
Tempest Lords.
Okay.
So been misperforming.
So they got 5 attacks. 5. 6 so, minus 2. 4 is less. So they got 3 hits.
Reduce the results of 1 die. So I can make this one because it's forced hits, right?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I'm gonna play a card.
Would you stop it?
I'm gonna play Undying Scorn.
Ah.
So +1 defense, and I can change it. They got the drain. I'm pretty sure they do, don't they? Spears.
I think all of them. It's not drain, it's vassals.
No, they
drain is your only drain is lancers.
Yeah, so they no. So I don't have that second ability, but they do have +1 defense. So your 6 strength versus my 2 now 3 defense means you need 3s or less.
With my drain abilities.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You have that...
Okay, so I roll to wound first.
Yeah, and you can rub out one of your chalices to get +1 defense if you need. I mean +1 attack. You need your 6 versus my 3, so you need 3s or less.
Unfortunately, I think that only lowers the result of the die by 1 per chalice erased.
But that's still.
What do I need?
3s or less.
No, that's fine.
So you got 3 wounds.
I would have preferred to get that 4th, but oh well.
Alright.
That's fine. So that is
thralls.
Pretty much done. So the thralls, which are babies. 2, 4, 5. But they are charging.
Yep, so they get +2 device.
2 dice?
Yep.
Okay. But it's 4 versus your 2, which means 2 ups.
2 less.
2 less.
So they got 1 hit.
Wow, that's rubbish.
That's what happens when you get beat to them.
Well, I mean,
And
you're
then
beating them. I did nothing.
they are strength 5 though. So 3s or less. Yes, that's another
1.
wound. Bam.
So now you're on -2.
Yes. Right, my attack's back. I got 6 dice, but because I'm in the red, I lose a dice. So I'm going to hit... Oh, who am I going to hit? I think I want to continue thrashing at the lords, I think. If I can get one more wound on them, they go into the yellow. Yeah, so my strength 5 versus your defensive 2. 3s or less. Oh, son of a... And then my strength of 5 versus your defensive 3, or toughness 3, 1s or 2s. Double 1! First time I'm happy to see double 1. 2 wounds.
I don't like that. Worth it, I don't think. Oh well. It's fine. 1, 2.
That's right. Boom.
Okay.
All right, over there.
Right, so this is a flank charge.
So first of all, gather your normal dice.
So 2, 4, 6.
You get +2 for charging. -1 because you're spears.
But I'm charging cavalry, so there's some other. So -1 because I'm spears.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a... So when holding and attacking charging cavalry, and when charging I get, oh, that was the -1, but when attacking I get a +1 on the to hit roll.
Okay, so you get +1 to hit because you're attacking in the flank anyway.
So it's +2 now.
Yeah.
So I've got 5
versus my defensive
6, 7 then.
Versus my defensive 2 because I'm not charging anymore.
It's 5 and under.
Mm-hmm. That's 1 missed.
Okay.
And then my defensive 1
versus my attack of 6.
6.
No, yeah, 6. Without any other modifiers.
So that's 5 wounds. Ugh. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into the red I go.
Whee!
Right, my attack's back. So I have 6 dice normally. But I'm now in the red, so I lose a dice. I'm attack skill 5 versus your defense skill of 1, if I remember.
Yeah.
So 4s or less. I missed with 1. And then my strength of 5 versus your defense of 3, if I remember.
Correct.
So it's 2s or less. I got 2 wounds. Alright, time for some morale. Should I do...
Yeah, do yours first. I want to do mine.
Alright, so this unit over here, they are a morale 12, but I'm now in the red, so down to 10. That's a fail. So they are running. Right, so do you want to do attacks with those guys? Go. Do their morale first, quickly.
Do I need to do the morale first?
Well, if they stay, then they can fight. They can hit me as well.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
That's 11.
And I am on -1.
So 10. So they're fleeing as well.
I think I can use my Misty Form. So it says you may use your power after a failed route check. Sure. Okay. So basically my what's name stats are 5 and 1 this turn. But there's nobody going to be hitting.
No. It makes you really hard to hit when you run away.
Yeah.
But there's no one. I'm running away, so you don't have to.
Okay, so I can only hit with the thralls right now.
Yes.
Okay, so the thralls are. Are we moving them first and then?
No, just roll because you might kill them. They only got 2 wounds left.
But it's the thralls. They're rubbish.
Well, they
2,
got-
3, 4, 5.
And you get +1 to hit. So you're on 5 versus my 2. So 3's or
Okay.
less. That's 2 hits. And then you're on strength 6 versus my defense 2. 4's or less. Ah, they missed. They
Told
suck.
you, man. The trolls are useless.
So my spears survive and run away.
And my Tempest Lords are being dumbasses and running away too. The one thing about Misty Form is that they auto rally at the end of the turn.
Okay. Well, I mean, you all you have to do is roll out a Talus and you got it.
No, 2 chalices.
Oh.
It's basically their. It's fine. Just leave it as it is.
All right, now for
We'll
my
go.
Lancers. They are command 11, but because I'm in the red, they go down to 9.
Fail.
9!
Ah, you're so fluky.
All right. So that goes over to me now. Oh my goodness. Okay. So of course I'm gonna have. Oh Jesus. I'm gonna have to rally them. Yeah. So they're gonna rally just so they can get murdered by thralls, even though the thralls missed their chance. So that's them holding. My spears are within range, so I'm gonna.
What is going on here now? Do we just do these count as 2 separate?
2 separate what? Technically, I'm a little bit back because I'm not in combat with those. All right, so my 2 actions were rally them and change them to C. Because they're within 3.5, they're going to charge them.
Okay.
And I guess these guys are just going to reform like this. And that's pretty much it. So, combat, I guess we'll start with the cavalry. So the cavalry have got 5 dice, 6 dice, but -1 because they're in the red. And strength 5. Do I want to do this? Before you rolled. Yes, I'm going to try it. I'm going to play force on them. So play before you roll to hit, but they get +2 strength to their attack.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and damage that, guys. So that's 4 hits. Nice. Then strength 5 up to strength 7 versus your defense of 3.
Which one's these guys?
The halberdiers on the
Yep.
yeah. So
3.
4 less, I believe. 3 wounds.
Oh man, it's these guys.
Yeah.
3 wounds.
Have a morale token. But you do get to strike back and you could kill them, yeah?
I sincerely hope I do, but what? I'm -1 on my stats now, no?
Only when you reach the red.
Okay. So I've got 6 dice. 2, 4, 5, 6. And I get a +1 to hit on cavalry, right? When attacking. Yes, +1 to hit. 2, 4,
So spears. So you're 6 versus my 2. It's 4 less. 3 missed. And then your strength, what is it? 5?
6.
So 5 or less, because I'm only defense 1. I'm basically naked horseman. That's 3 wounds. They are dead. So that is the first unit that has been killed. That is also 217 points for you in the bag.
Did we discuss what the winning condition was?
Yeah, 425.
Okay.
Okay, so, but let's see what these spearmen can do on your spears. So my spears are, if I remember correctly, they got 6 dice. 5, 6 plus 2 for charging, -1 because they're spears. My attack skill is 5 versus your defense skill of 1. So 4 less. Oh, god damn it. And then my strength of 5 versus your defense of 3.
Correct.
1s or 2s. 2 wounds.
Does that now count as being in the red?
No, not for this attack back, because it's simultaneous. But it is counted for the red for when you do your morale. So your strike back.
I'm going to play Desperation, which gives me a +2 dice and a +1 to wound. So they've got 6 dice, 2, 4, 6, and +2 dice because of Desperation. And nothing.
So your attack skill is?
My attack skill is still 5.
So my defense is 2, so you need 3s or less. Oh, there's a lot of 5s there.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
There was another 3 there.
Was there?
Yeah. So 4 hits.
And then I get a +1 to the wound.
So what's your strength?
6, 7.
7. Okay, my defense is 2, so you need 5s or less. Freaking halberdiers. Ah, 2 6s. Sucker.
That's rubbish.
But it does mean I'm in the red still. So that's going to be a check for them as well. If you'd done one more, you would have won. Oh no,
No, I still need more.
Actually, 2, 12, 2. No, you would have won by 2 points. No, 2 points over if you killed him there. Okay, so morale tests. Do you want to start with your pikes over there?
No.
Stay in the yellow, so they're -1.
Awful. Right. 6, 9,
bring it in, I can't
10,
see.
11. So basically, I'm on -1. I need 10s. I've rolled 11.
So they're fleeing.
They are fleeing. But there is no unit. I mean, what they're fleeing from, I'd love to know. They're literally scared of their own freaking shadows at this point. There's nobody to attack back. At least, I guess that's... I don't know. Shit. They're slow, aren't they?
Other way, yeah.
No, other around. Like crawling slowly.
And then over here, do you want to do your one?
No, I don't want to do it.
They're
right,
-2.
so I'm 11. I'm -2. I need 9. Yeah,
They
like...
failed as well. I need 10s. I failed as well.
So we don't hit each other. We just literally run from each other.
Yep.
Okay. And these guys are slow again, so...
And they get in the way of my bloody crossbowmen.
Okay.
They're facing the wrong way.
Keep doing that.
Okay. So that goes over to your turn.
Oh dear. Okay, maybe I should have used that misty thing, because now I've got 3 units running away.
Oh yeah, I forgot the lords are running away. Chicken shits.
Okay. Desperation has been used.
We've both run out of cards as well, so if you want to rally those, at least 2 of those 3 units, you can't even draw any more cards.
Don't gloat.
Although, these guys, what's their move?
They're 3.5.
3.5, so they are in range. They could win you the game.
No, they can't. They're trolls. Right. I am, however, I'm going to rally my lords for what it's worth. Well, I'm gonna...
I see what you're doing there. They only got 2 blocks left. You don't want them to get shot. Huh? I know your tricks.
You say it like I'm trying to hide something. It's right here, in your face. Okay. I'm gonna rub this out just because, so I don't forget that they're going the wrong way.
Okay.
Okay, so those are my 2 actions that I
Reforming the line.
Yeah. So these 2 have now auto gone into hold. This one is still running, which means I'm assuming I have to make him run then. If this is
Yeah, if you're in the
my
movement
turn.
phase, yeah.
So he does that.
And then these ones charging in.
Yes, those ones are charging in. Is it from my corner to
what? To see
it's my 2 corners.
Center.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if I can flank them.
No, it's definitely front. Because it's my corner to corner, and your center is in the front arc.
I see. Fine. Be like that. I don't want that. But yeah, they are.
You just pick them up and drop them in front. All right.
See, that's what makes me wonder about earlier, because you've just charged them in to center. Why is that not?
I suppose you could do it like that if you wanted to.
Well, I'm not saying that it's the best. It's just an option.
I think the wording is that it has to touch as much as possible or something like that. But this is why we can now hopefully have the designer, comment alone.
Yeah, tell us if we're right or wrong.
This is what the first play games are all about. All right, so this is the major thing. 5 dice plus 2 for charging.
So 2, 4, 5 plus 2 for charging.
I've got nothing to protect them as I have no cards and you have no cards. So your attack skill of 4 versus my defense skill of 2. You need 1s and 2s. Oh, they only got 1 hit.
You said that like it's surprising.
They are strength 5 though versus my defense of 2. They need 1s, 2s, or 3s. Ah, they missed. Oh my god, they suck. Alright, so my attack's back. I've got 6 dice, -1 because I'm in the red. Strength 5 versus defense 2, 3s or less. I got at least 2 hits. And then strength 5 versus toughness 2, 3s or less. 1 wound.
Honestly, I charge you and you hit me.
That's what happens when you just throw your swords on the floor because you saw your masters leave the field.
They are just blood drunk. That's their problem.
Right, well, that's a morale test for them.
Oh, whoop-de-doo.
No morale test for me because you didn't even hit me. So go on then. That's the only comment. Take your morale.
Shut up. No gloating.
And they failed on a 12.
No. Because they need a 12.
11 because they're in the yellow. So, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I get to hit them again. So I got 5 dice, +1 to hit this time. So 4s or less. 2 missed. 4s or less. 2 more wounds.
What rubbish. Okay.
Alright. Well, I don't have a lot of stuff left. I mean, these guys have got 1 wound left.
Yeah, but I have to reach them.
Okay. So my first action is clearly going to take these ones off hold and put them on C so that they can charge those thralls. Hopefully, I'm out of range.
Thank.
That's a
Drac.
And I'm not going to change them. I want them to keep moving, so I'm going to draw a card for my second action. Right, so they're going to go forward. And they are going to shuffle out to this side. Keep running away from you. And then these guys, hopefully, if they are in range, I'm going to shoot your vampires.
Okay.
3 dice. I am attack skill 5 versus your defense of 2. So 3s or less, but I am shooting at long range, so 2s or less. And I missed. Damn it. I was hoping to get at least one.
I am going to route these guys. Technically they're there because of the
Rally, not route.
I know, I keep saying it, I'm sorry. So they are still on hold because of that. Would you say I can charge that or not? Because of the thrall's location?
I mean, I don't know for sure, but yeah, sure. They are visible enemy. They are in range. And it doesn't say when you do charging, it doesn't say you move.
Angle, I can...
But it doesn't say you move them when you charge to the
Oh,
final rush. You pick them up and put them. So I say yes.
So I'm going to charge them. Technically have another...
They're on hold, by the way, so that I take it you directly controlled them.
Yes, sorry.
No, they stay on hold if you directly control them. Or if you change the order, you can put them on C and they'll do the same.
Yeah. Then maybe I should do that.
So you rallied and changed an order.
Yeah.
Alright. Everything, that one's running away still. So they
okay, so this one continues its flight. That one is still on hold.
So straight over to combat. Can the vampires do the job for you?
I mean, I don't know. At this point, I'm not particularly sure of anything anymore.
So you got 5 dice, plus 2 for charging.
After you roll 2 wound. Okay, so 2, 4, 5 dice.
Plus 2 for charging.
Plus 2 for charging.
Your attack skill is 6 versus my defensive 2. 4s or less.
Do you get minuses for the yellow?
No.
Okay.
So 3 missed. 3 6s. It's a bad omen. Actually, you're a vampire, so it might be a good omen.
Okay, and then it's again 6s versus your 2s.
Yep, 4 less. Another 3 6s, yeah, would be good. Only 1. And they are dead. Smooshed. Goodness gracious.
They're fat ones.
Yeah, they were juicy meal. And that means you have 217 plus 212, puts you at 429 points, and you are the winner. But before that happens, I do get a strike back though, because that was a simultaneous fight. So I got 3, 4, 5. My attack skill is 5 versus your defense of 2. So 3s or less. I got 3 hits. I can't kill you, but I can make you run away. And then strength 5 versus your defense of 3. 1s or 2s. 1 wound. For what it's worth, they would be taking a morale test. But it doesn't matter! Because you have won. Fist bump. Lockdown fist bump. Alright. And that is the first scenario complete. So obviously it was a bit longer because we did a lot more explaining and stuff like that. But now, because Carla is playing Lord Lucan, the next game we'll go into what's called reprisals. So we have a completely different scenario and setup, and we'll even have new units. So she will have steadfast halberdiers. She also has a Tepes lords, but then she will also get a werewolf pack instead of her thralls, which she'll be liking. And I, because I lost, I lose. My entire army is obviously being killed, but instead I'll come back with 2 swordsman units and 2 warriors of the mist units. So we'll play this next scenario, and you can follow that link up here to go check out the next scenario to see how the little mini campaign ends out. But this is Battleground Fantasy Warfare from Your Move Games. It's pretty fun actually. I quite like it. It's a really interesting set of rules. Very simple to play. It's quite a lot of like little bits and pieces that you have to remember. Most of the game sets come with all these cards, keyword cards, And then there's some basic keywords as well that you have to remember, like cavalry and spears and
But
archers and
this
things.
is not a challenge for anybody that plays any sort of tabletop war game.
Yeah.
Instead of having it in a book form, you have a couple of cards on the side that you just refer to as referencing. And I mean, I don't think this would ever replace playing a physical miniature game for those that are avid fans of tabletop miniatures. But I think if you're in the mood to play and you really don't feel like taking all of it out, this actually replicates the feeling of a war game quite nicely.
Yeah.
It plays really smoothly. The rules are basic. Everything is at hand.
The artwork is really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you. I think this will never replace miniatures for me. I'm still a full-on miniature guy, and even sometimes when I'm playing this game, I'm thinking, how cool would it look to have the trays with all the miniatures and stuff?
Right. But you don't always want all of the hassle of actually unpacking a miniature. And if we were to play the same exact scenario with with vampires, vampire count army, it be awfully long.
Yeah, and also, I mean, not that this happens that often, but this is the package it comes in. I mean, there's Carla's face for reference. And
well, this is a standard card for reference. So, in terms of size, I think this is amazing to stick in a bag and take on holiday. I mean, you can play this on a train, but you could take it on holiday and have,
you can play this on those regular tables that you have in the little cabins or chalets or whatever.
Easily a pub table almost. I think you could get away with, because the units are about 15 inches apart to start off with, roughly. And here we go. There's like 4 armies here in my hands. It's, I don't know. There's something incredibly appealing about being able to play a proper battle without actually having to worry about all the cleanup afterwards.
Yeah.
So
agreed. So I'm going to put a link in the description below to their website, and when the Kickstarter goes live next week sometime or whenever it is, I'll put a link to that as well, and you can go check it out if it's something you're interested in. I mean, it's also quite affordable. It's not a very expensive game, and there's a ton of variations as well. I mean, Carl showed you the collection that we have of different units. They have almost 2 to 3 times more of that, of different elves and humans and all sorts of stuff. And you can also get monsters and things. I got a cup envelope with some dragons in and stuff like that. So yeah, I think
the idea of the campaign is also very nice. I mean, I don't like pitch battles in general, so playing towards an objective is fun, and they, each box seems to give you roughly an idea of a different set of campaigns you can play with. So,
and of course we were using one box split into 2, but you can obviously have for example, I could have the Men of Hawksfold, and Carla could make up an army out of the vampires and so on. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's already an hour long video, so we'll thanks for watching, Carla. Or playing rather, Carla.